We would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners of the lands on which this podcast is recorded. We pay our respects to the elders and their descendants who continue in a long tradition of cultural and spiritual connections to country since time immemorial. We acknowledge the First Peoples and their continuing custodianship of the lands on which we work and live. We recognise their struggle and honour their contributions to current and future generations. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Welcome to the Reconnection Revolution. I'm your host, Celeste Halliday. In a world that often encourages us to play safe and stay small, we go deep and explore the big questions, the daily joys and chaos of life, and everything in between. Our goal? To help you find your spark if you feel like it's been dimmed, and ignite you if you're ready to create a reconnection revolution in your own life. Wherever you're at right now, I'm so glad that you're here with us. Hello and welcome back. Today we are talking all things meaning at work. And before you immediately switch off because you think I'm going to tell you that you have to find some what I would call capital P purpose, like curing cancer, that is not this podcast. So absolutely, if you have some why that absolutely drives your passions and motivates you and helps you get out of bed every day, like curing cancer, and I am all for people wanting to cure cancer because my mum died from it, so I'm right behind you if that's your calling. I don't believe that everybody has one calling in their life. And I think if you walk into any bookstore now, there are huge sections on self-development. And I think some of them are amazing. I mean, a lot of what we do is self-help, self-development in many ways. But I also have a little bit of cynicism about the fact that that industry preys on people with low self-worth and low self-esteem, and telling people that not only do they have to be fit and healthy and eat organic food and find, amazing work and be a great person, they also have to have some huge purpose that's driving everything in their lives, is just another stick to beat us with. And in particular, I think it's another stick that we beat women with. So you don't need to, in my opinion, have some life-changing world purpose. If you do, it's amazing. The research is very clear that our lives aren't really about the search for happiness. They're really about the search for fulfillment. And purpose, the search for purpose, the pursuit of purpose, is a search for fulfillment. But we like to talk about connecting with meaning rather than connecting with purpose. Because really, a good life, a happy life, a successful life, a fulfilling life, it's a meaningful life. And we've lost a lot of the social structures, some of which were good, some of which were bad, that really helped guide our definition of what being a good person and having a good life meant. So having a job that paid the bills and then having a family, for example, and, caring for your family and catering for their needs, spending time in community in some way, having hobbies and pursuits, that was a perfectly meaningful, good life only 40 years ago. But with the constant evolution of the capitalist system being focused on making money and success being defined by what you can buy and own and wear, so that cult of consumerism, many people, in fact, most people I work with, and definitely myself, my friends and family, are questioning how we're living our lives. why we're doing the things that we're doing and making the choices that we're making, why we are creating jobs that are so all-consuming, they become our entire identity. So many people I know don't have a hobby. They might say, I go to the gym, and I get it, I go to the gym, but are we going to the gym because we love it, because it's healthy, or because it's yet another thing we've been told we should spend money on to do, to look right, to be right, to fit into this world that we're currently in? So over the last couple of years, I have done a complete deep dive on purpose and meaning. And I've developed what I'm currently calling the meaning matrix. It might be the meaning mosaic. Let's see where it ends up. But it breaks down all of the science and research about the key components of living a meaningful life. And it's much broader, and also it's not singularly focused. And it's been a genuine relief for some of the people that I've worked with to look at this with the many different things that it involves and realize that they're not somehow fundamentally broken because they don't have one all-consuming purpose or passion, that actually they get to choose and create a meaningful life from all sorts of things, from passions and a sense of play. How many people really feel they have a sense of play in their lives now? From hobbies and interests, from creating things. We naturally used to create things in our lives, whether it was working on our cars to keep them maintained, or planting a garden, not just because of how it looks, but because we liked gardening and planting things, growing vegetables to eat. It might have been home crafts, cooking, needlework, painting, reading, so many different things that people just feel like they don't have the time for now because we're either at work or we're on technology. And sometimes we're doing both. And even when we're with other people, which is probably the biggest component of living a meaningful life, you know, the book by Bonnie Ware about the top 5 regrets of the dying. One of the top 5 regrets is absolutely that I didn't live my life according to who I really was, and that I spent too much time working and not enough time with the friends and family and connections that I wanted to create and deepen and really are the most meaningful part at the end of life. So the connections that we had and that we may still have, even those are not as deep and mutual as they were, because we're often distracted by technology, including me, when we're with the people that we want to connect with. So the whole distraction, busyness that's happening at work and happening in our lives is leaving us feeling disconnected from ourselves and absolutely disconnected from a sense of meaning. One of the things that we do with teams and leaders when we work with them is something that I call calendar crafting. And, you know, a lot of what we teach is agency. It's taking back control, getting into the driver's seat in your job and in your life, setting boundaries and prioritizing things so that if there is meaning for you in your work, in your job, figuring out what that is, because it makes you better at your job. It makes you higher performing if you're finding meaning in it. But even more importantly, it's making you happier and healthier too. So we get people to look at their calendars after they've figured out what is meaningful for them at work. And it might not be the actual role function. It might be being part of a team. It might be the end customer or product in the business, so the genuine purpose of the business. It might be, a lot of engineers I've worked with just love beautiful code. So that's that feeling of creating again, making something. So for everyone, it will be different, and there is no right or wrong or more meaningful or less meaningful meaning. It's completely unique to you and who you authentically are. And figuring out which parts of the role, which parts of the business, which parts of work for you are meaningful, and then looking at your calendar on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and crafting it to make sure that you are prioritizing the things that most connect with and light you up. Now, obviously, we have to do the whole job, and we all have parts of our jobs that we don't like, and that's a given. But we can refocus and put more specific time into the things that really make a difference to us. For some people, it's been as simple as crafting an hour a week that is a block in their calendar where they learn something. Because work has become so busy, we don't even prioritize our own learning and growth. And definitely part of the meaning matrix is learning, development, growth. It's aspiring, it's wanting to evolve, learn more, do more, be more. So I'd encourage you to take some time to reflect about where you get meaning from your work and also more broadly from your life, and figuring out how you can get back in the driver's seat so that you're prioritizing that, both work and life, and knowing that the more we focus on meaning, not only does it make us healthier, happier, higher performing, it's also the number one antidote to burnout. So whether it's for you, for somebody in your family that you can see as disconnected, numb, cynical, not enjoying work, disconnected from themselves, helping them understand where they get meaning. It might be somebody in your team, it might be your whole team if you're a leader, it might be yourself. Help them understand where they find meaning. It's now one of the top 3 reasons people leave or join a new business or job. So it rates above career progression and salary. I think we're entering a decade of meaning. The last decade was really one of convenience. You can get anything delivered to you wherever you are, however you are, and leveraging that technology. We're entering an era of meaning, and it's very much a reaction to the consumerist culture, the capitalist drive that many of us have find ourselves caught up in on a bit of a hamster wheel, taking back control and figuring out how each one of us can live a meaningful life. Thank you so much for joining us and spending time with us today. I hope it was helpful, and we would love to hear from you if you craft your calendar or make some more meaning at work or at home. Thank you for joining us on the Reconnection Revolution. We hope today's episode has ignited a spark within you, reminding you of the power of genuine connection. As we wrap up, remember that your support means the world to us. To stay connected with our vibrant community and never miss an episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you've found value in our conversations and stories, we would love to hear from you. Please leave us a review and let us know what you loved, what you hated, what you want more of, so that we can empower and inspire more people just like you. Until next time, keep curious, keep questing, keep connecting, and remember, we really are all in this together.